In this video, we're going to show you 5 defensive back drills that you can do on your game field or your practice field. And these drills will help you become a better defensive back, transitioning, ball drills, and more. If you want to learn more about playing defensive back, check out our Defense University on our website, victorysports.com. Now let's get to the 5 drills. Okay, this first drill is what we call our in-phase drill. And what we mean by in-phase is we can have a hand on the defender, okay? And we're hip to hip with them as we're running. So what we like to work on with our defensive backs is get them in a position where they're running with them. And then that player the wide receiver is just going to flash his hands with the ball. And then the minute we see his hands flash up, our instincts as defensive back tell us that we need to punch this thing out as hard and as fast as we possibly can, okay? There's a few coaching points when you do this. You notice this defensive back, he goes from point A to point B in a straight line, okay? We don't want to wind up and tomahawk. It takes too long as we're trying to disrupt this ball. So I want to work here, shoot my hand through, disrupt this ball. And then as you progress with this drill, you can have the wide receiver hold it, a little bit tighter. That way we got to find ways to punch and then rip through as we're going and tracking that near hip, okay? But this is what we call our in-phase drill. When you yell that, all the kids should be able to pick a football, get a partner, and then they're running hip to hip. The minute they see the hands flash, bang, they're trying to get it out as fast as they can. Okay, next we'll work on our out of phase drill. Now, again, I truly believe that you got to crawl before you can walk, okay? So this drill, all we're trying to do, we're pretending we're out of phase, meaning we can't touch the hip of the offensive player. Maybe we lost on a double move. Maybe we fired our hands and he beat us, okay? Whenever we get beat, we don't want to panic. So what we want to do is we want to be able to track the offensive player down, find the football, and then play through it. So all we're doing here is we're trying to find the hands and we're trying to shoot our hands through the football, okay? You notice this player here, he's not being too violent right now, but we're just looking to A, get our hand back on the hip. That way if we miss, we can make a tackle. But B, I'm trying to bring if you notice his eyes in his hand, as if we're chasing down the receiver, we're trying to get our eyes and hands up to the football. Okay, again, whenever it flashes, eyes and hands, and then one last time, eyes and hands, okay? We want to get to that position. That way, if we catch up to the receiver, we're playing his eyes, we're playing his hands, and we're trying to dig that football out, hopefully for an incompletion on a route that we would have, naturally given up because we lost on it. But here's a good way to recover and teach your guys how to recover. Okay, this next drill is what we call the press man bag drill. So you're going to line up in press man, and we're going to put a step over bag about a yard behind this player. Now, the bag isn't to make the player trip over. It's to subconsciously have them know that there's a cliff behind them or they can't just bail out as fast as they possibly can, because when you give a wide receiver separation, you give them speed to work with. Speed's a bad thing for defensive backs, okay? So what you want to do is put that bag about a yard behind, and all we're going to do is inch ourselves slowly back, and then we're going to get a hand on the receiver and then ride him out, okay? So this drill is great to teach a couple things, okay? And there's a couple teaching points that we have in this drill. So you see the player's feet. If you notice, he's inching back, his shoulders are over his knees. And then once that receiver commits either way, we're going to try to hit him with the opposite arm. Notice his eyes. His eyes are located where he is striking as he's running through, okay? There's one thing I don't really love about what this player is doing right now. If you notice his feet, and this is a good coaching point, right there, his feet are crossed over. If that receiver wanted to dislodge this arm and come back underneath, he would win on this route, okay? So what we want to do is we want to emphasize when we're in this position right here, I'd like to see a slide step, have this corner kick off of that step, cut the angle off, and stay square to the receiver as he's punching him out through, okay? So those are the coaching points for this drill. But I really like this drill because it makes the cornerback think about punching, taking those small steps. That way he doesn't trip over the bag. But if you do this enough times, he'll take this directly to the game. You'll start to see him inch out, and you'll start to see his footwork be cleaned up because he thinks there's a cliff behind him, or in this case, the bag. All right, this next drill is what we call a 90-degree compete drill. And all we're trying to do is both players are going to slowly inch out and backpedal out, okay? Whenever we backpedal, we never want to fly out of there. We want to control ourselves and not give enough separation to the receiver. That way they can't gain enough speed, okay? So we're slowly going to inch back in our backpedal. And then once the coach points one direction, okay, you see him point to the left, this player is just going to stand still, and then this player is going to try to undercut the player to the left-hand side here, okay? So you notice he's going to get this outside foot in the ground. He's going to make a 90-degree cut, and he's breaking towards that receiver. We're going to catch it and then tuck it away and then get up for 5 yards, okay? But this is a great reactionary drill and compete drill. That way when the player backs up, okay, and the coach, he's going to go randomly. He'll go left or go right. Whatever player he points at is going to stay still, and then the other player is going to undercut that receiver and get up underneath him, okay? This is a great early practice drill, or even if you want to do this in pre-practice, it's a great way for the players to get warmed up, but be able to have enough eye discipline to when, they have coach looking this way, okay? I would like to see this player's head snap to the receiver and then snap back again. That way he can determine the angle. That'd probably be one coaching point of this drill, but you see him get his outside foot in the ground. There's no wasted steps, and he's undercutting this ball, again, catching it, tucking it away. But this is our 90-degree compete drill. Okay, this is our fifth and final drill. It's called the break compete drill. And we have another variation of this, which we show you in our defensive back university course. But in this, what we're trying to do is we're trying to start somewhat hip to hip, okay? But close enough where we're going to be able to backpedal comfortably. And then once the coach points one direction, that player is going to break out now at a 45 degree. So you saw in the last drill, we're breaking at 90 degree, at 135 degree. They're going to break out and up. So now this player is in a trail position. He needs to either get back in phase, or if he's out of phase, he's got to find the football and punch it out, okay? So it's a great way to compete for the football. And as you can see, this player is matching step for step. He's looking back for the quarterback, and then he's going to play right through the hands, okay, of that receiver and knock the football away. So again, you can go left to right. If he points this way, then this player right here becomes the defensive player, and this player becomes the offensive player. So again, it's a great reactionary drill where the players don't necessarily know who's going to be offense, who's going to be defense. It's fun too because the kids get to compete, and you're also teaching those in phase and out of phase skills in this drill. You can go rapid fire and get a lot out of this drill. So I really like this drill. This is one of my favorite compete drills for the defensive back position. But, we hope you learned a lot with these 5 defensive back drills. As we mentioned, this is a great way to teach fundamentals, and the simplistic art of playing defensive back is within these 5 drills. So we hope you learned a lot, and thanks for watching.